Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we'll be looking at the Park Ladies from Funky Skulls Games for the Street Wars NYC. These are non-player characters that can serve as objectives for the gangs there. So you get two models. You have the Pigeon Lady, who can hang out in the park for Macaulay Culkin to find. And you have an independent entrepreneur and contractor there. So these models are very well done. Almost non-existent mold lines here. The pigeons survived transit from Scotland to New Mexico very well. Maybe there's some flashing here on the hand and that just came off. So it was $3 for the set. $1.50 per model, so very good value for such high quality sculpts. The only issue would probably be trying to clean the mold lines between the legs there. Alright, let's get these together and on the mat. So I have my Park Ladies cleaned and put on their bases. I have to say, out of all the Funky Skull models, this is probably the most difficult to clean, just because you're working with skin. You got to make it look smooth, and there's so many tiny, frail, intricate bits here. And this slotted doesn't really want to fit into this base. You got to patch that in. Even if you just stick it in and glue it, there's going to be big holes, and it doesn't actually go from side to side there. They both need a little patching. I thought the Pigeon Lady would be the most complicated, but she actually cleaned up really nice, really fast. So those look good. Let's see how they look on my mat. So as they're to be in a park, I'm using my Frontline Gaming Urban mat here with the park feature. So they fit on the sidewalks, on the various crosswalks. So let's see how they fit with some of my other miniature lines. Looking at Studio Miniatures, Jules and Vincent there, or maybe if the A-Team comes to help them out. So the Funky Skull models fit in perfectly with Studio Miniatures 28mm line. Now let's compare it to North Star's 28mm line. Also, height and build fit in perfectly there. Now looking at Spectre Miniatures, the Banker's the right height. He's a little bit more frail, but that's no matter. It still works. And we look at how it fits into my existing terrain collection. Well, actually, Aaron's terrain collection. You can see now I see how these models fit in with the existing terrain collection. Work very well with Marvel Crisis Protocol's terrain, even though it's scaled for 40mm supposedly. Works great with 28mm because of the 3-inch rise on the building. Door handles and the counter heights are a little high, but still works. And something made by 3DP Design Lab. It's a remix of Terrain for Prince brownstones. You can see brownstones work perfectly. I got these brownstones for Batman and Marvel Crisis Protocol, but they still work for 28mm. I think these models are a good buy for any of your modern 28mm range, just because they are pretty unique for what's out there. And if you're ordering from Scotland, you might as well throw them in the bag as an add-on because of the shipping and handling. Get your money's worth. Well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.